All right, Shakes, thanks for joining. It's been fun connecting with you on LinkedIn. Probably don't have a lot of time to talk about it today, but I've learned a lot about you from you on
Oh,
fountain pens, and so that's kind of been fun.
yeah.
So, what's the elevator pitch? Like, who are you? Who do you work with? What do you do? Like, kind of give folks an idea of who you are.
Yeah, so my name is thank first of all, Kate, thank you for you and your team for having me on. I appreciate it. But my name is Sheikh Ali. I'm the founder and CEO of SC Medical Media, where I help clinician and healthcare executives build their authority on LinkedIn and then use the connections built there to drive business to business partnerships.
That's
And
cool.
so this process is typically done in a four-step process. First of all, we talk about strategy because if you speak to everyone, you speak to no one. Secondly, is optimizing their LinkedIn profile so that it speaks to their ideal audience. Third is creating content that converts to sales or to business. And fourth is a curious and caring outreach approach using social selling.
That's really cool. And is it platform specific? Like, are you prioritizing a single platform, or what's your kind of approach from a platform perspective?
That's a great question. So when I first started the business, January of 2023, I was doing Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for healthcare professionals in general. But in January of 2024, then I decided to pivot to LinkedIn specifically, just because I like the business to business nature and the
Hmm,
clients tend to be more established in their careers. And also in November of 2024, so exactly a year ago since we're recording, I specifically honed in on that on the clinician executive crowd and the healthcare
cool.
executive crowd because these are people who are founders and CEOs of their own businesses or their own clinics, for example. So in the case of your audience, private practice owners would be very much game for me in terms of my target audience.
That's really cool. And so what's your best kind of case to be made for an individual like that having a personal brand, creating content, in this particular case on LinkedIn, but I'm sure it could be applicable to other platforms. Like what's your kind of conviction or belief around why folks should take their personal brand and content serious?
That's a great question, Cade. So I want to actually split this into two parts. First of all, let's talk about the personal branding and then we'll talk about the content afterwards. So for personal branding in particular, you're in the 21st century, building authority digitally is mandatory. It's no longer an option because the first thing when somebody's curious about you that they do is they Google you. And so being able to have that digital authority already established on LinkedIn is absolutely critical. Now, in terms of your personal brand, the job that you have right now, whether you're working for a larger hospital or corporation, or if you run your own practice, is expendable. And so
Hmm,
having that personal brand, meaning something that appeals to your target audience, which we can talk about in a minute, but having and building that personal brand so that people get to know you. Because as you know, in the sales world, we always say you have to know, like, and trust somebody, but how can
hmm,
people like and trust you if they don't even know who you are? And so building that robust LinkedIn presence is very important so that people can know you. So that's number one. Number two, regarding the content, I love this question. Most of us who are watching or listening to this podcast have LinkedIn and we have over 500 connections. But the question is, how many of those do we actually know of
hmm,
those 500 plus connections? When you post content on LinkedIn, you are automatically in the top 1 to 3% of users on LinkedIn. So content is what helps keep you top of mind on LinkedIn. And it allows people to, again, get to know you better and know what you stand for. And more importantly, how you as a clinician healthcare executive can help your audience.
hmm. That's really good. How would you summarize what a personal brand is? That right after I asked the question, it occurred to me it's like a personal brand is pretty broad. Is that,
hmm
like how would you articulate kind of what components make up a personal brand?
I love this question. So this is a good one too. So personal brand really consists of number one, what your core values are. And
Mm,
this goes back to just starting any business on your own, right, Cade? You have to know what your core values are before you even start the business because you are inextricably linked to your business, especially if you're a founder, CEO, clinician leader in your business. That's number one. Number two is being very self aware. So knowing what your strengths are and being able to, and this is something that I do with my clients, is I get a snapshot of their professional trajectory and then
mm,
I pick one or two points that stand out to me the most because, for example, Everyone goes to med school, residency, or nursing school, PA school, but your why, your sense of why you do it, what's the reason behind it, what's the story behind it, that can easily be explained in a personal brand framework. In
Mm,
addition to that, another great thing about the personal brand is when people get to know you better, they tend to be more interested in your little quirks. So, for example, you mentioned at the beginning about the fountain pens. That's something that we connected on from the get go. That had nothing to do with business, but we
right.
use that as an avenue to talk business. And so that's why your personal brand is really, really so important. And for me, what I do with
Mm.
my clients, Kate, is I really help them flesh out their strategy and build their personal brand.
It's really good. I'm sure for those watching and listening to this, you're hearing my dog bark in the background. So hopefully Riverside's very effective at blocking out dog sounds, the joy and curse of working from home. Yeah, very good. So what kind of benefits have you seen personally from having a personal brand and from creating consistent content and trying to be intentional about engaging online? And then maybe a second part is like, what have you seen from some of your clients? And maybe it's the exact same, but if it's
Hmm.
different, why don't you share a little bit about each of those?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll share both actually. So for myself, my personal brand in the last 2 to 3 months, especially, has been phenomenal. It has really helped me grow my business because my business is LinkedIn focused. That is my main platform
Mm,
of choice. And that's where I post all my content. And the amount of relationships, Kate, that I've built, including with you, for example, it has been a wonderful avenue for that. And that has led to more clients signing with me, more business. And it has also allowed me to open up the opportunities for speaking engagements since I love speaking
mm,
quite a bit. That's why I'm here on this podcast with you.
cool.
Because if it
That's
wasn't for
awesome.
LinkedIn, we wouldn't have known each other. So that's number
Right.
one. In terms of
And,
my
and was that
client,
like a compound? Sorry to interrupt you. Was that like a
yeah.
compounding? Was that kind of compounding? So you've been creating content for several years, but it was really in the last 3 to 4 months where kind of that momentum and that
Mhm.
consistency started paying off. Or did you like shift your strategy 3 months ago and then you saw the fruits of that? Like what kind of happened there?
That's a great question. So I started originally making content for this particular audience that I'm targeting now, the clinician and healthcare executive crowd, 1 year ago. And
Okay.
so it took, that's a great point, Kate. It took 9 to 10 months of diligent posting of content, being consistent, being in the comments section and engaging, which is something that we'll talk about next time about why that's so important. And
Mm-hmm.
really building out those relationships and going deep into the relationships that I've built on LinkedIn. So that has been absolutely critical for the boon in my personal brand. That's number one.
That's
And
awesome.
also for my business too. Now, in terms of my clients, the results that I've seen from my clients is threefold. Number one, the almost all my clients say that Sheikh, I feel more comfortable now with LinkedIn, which is good
Mm,
because I'm doing my job. Number two, they also feel like they have their own voice on the platform because of the
mm,
methodology that we were talking about earlier about catering to your strengths. I'm able to help them discover their own superpower and use that to build their brand and distinguish themselves from their colleagues on LinkedIn. And then
mm,
number three, the other thing that I've seen is just building out a more robust network, which has led to signing business on their end as well.
mm. That's cool. Are you writing the content for them? Like once you actually create these frameworks with them, like are you actually helping them in the actual content creation, or are you just trying to help them create their strategy and their framework and then kind of holding them accountable to being the actual creator?
Good question. So the when it comes to the content creation, the most popular offer, and this is the one that I'm going to be going all in on for 2026, is more of a done with you sort of model. So
Mm,
I come up with the content topic ideas. That way they don't even have to think about it. However, every client is different. And so I hone in on those strengths and that branding and that strategy, like we spoke about before. That's why laying that foundation is so important. So I create customized content topics for them. They will write the first draft, and then I will go in and basically edit it rigorously and make the formatting LinkedIn friendly because there's a certain
cool.
formatting that LinkedIn prefers that makes it easier to
Yep.
read.
That's really cool. What a great thing you've created, and man, all this is so practical and helpful for those who want to kind of connect with you. This kind of sounds obvious now that I'm asking the question. I assume you want them to go, follow you on LinkedIn, but what other ways do you want people to reach out if they're watching this?
Yeah, absolutely. So LinkedIn, of course, is going to be the best way to reach
Yep.
out to me, just direct message. But you can also email me scmedicalmedia@gmail.com and make sure you tell me that Kate sent you.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Well, Shake, thank you so much for your time and sharing some of this insights. And yeah, I look forward to, our relationship continuing to grow.
Likewise, my friend. Take care. Thank you.